The regular meeting of the Lake Charles Harbor and Terminal District has now been called to order. It's 2 p.m., October 30th, 2025. We will have the invocation by myself, and we have the Pledge of Allegiance by Mr. Grayer. Heavenly Father, we come this evening in the most gracious and humble way we know how, giving thanks upon all the many blessings you bestowed upon us as your Christian people. We just ask that you would continue to uplift us and bless us, Lord, and all the things that you would have us do as your Christian people. We ask all these blessings in your Son named Jesus. May we all face the flag, please.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We want to thank everyone for coming out this evening, and if you have your phone, we ask that you would put it on silent so that we can go through our meeting uninterrupted. At this time, we will move on to public comment procedure. The board encourages public comments and questions regarding all agenda items. Persons wishing to do so should complete a speaker's card, which is at the entrance of the boardroom. When speaking or asking a question on an agenda item, one should, in addition to completing the card, come to the microphone, be recognized, and provide your name, address, and phone number. Comments by individuals will be limited to 3 minutes. We will now move on to our agenda items, the minutes. Approval of the September 25th, 2025 regular meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, that item will pass. Moving on to submissions. Submission 2025-044, authorizing the executive director to amend resolutions 2024-017 for professional services with Lanier Associates. Mr. Self.
Yes, Mr. President, we're requesting authorization from the board to increase the professional services fee for Lanier Associates associated with engineering on the dust collecting system at BT1. And I'm going to ask Nick to step in on, help me out on both of this submission and actually the next one as well, to give you a little bit of background as to why it's necessary related to the contractor and the subcontractors that are working on that project.
If you would, Nick, thank you.
Yes, sir. This project is to replace our aging infrastructure, which is our dust collection system, our Calcine system at BT1, but it also includes the electrical feeders and all the controls for the conveyor system that goes from our rail receiving to our Calcine silos. These were all put in the 60s, so they're very old and have a lot of, repairs that have been done over the years. So there's a lot of piecemeal that was done since the 60s. So in doing that, our contractor has run into a lot of problems, had a lot of questions, and basically needed a lot of help from the engineer for these technical questions that have come up and complications, I guess, from just dealing with all this old equipment. That being said, Lanier we've relied heavily on for this project since it is so technical in nature, both electrical and mechanical, and the controls. So they've depleted, or not yet, but they're going to deplete their construction services portion of the contract, and that's where I'm asking you today to approve extending their contract or increasing the amount they have for that to continue to provide us support. This is very critical for the port because it helps us. Our contractor has brought forward a few things that they thought were change orders. We've been able to, with Lanier's assistance, show that it is not a change order, it is actually indeed part of the contract. So we want Lanier to continue helping us in that manner.
Mr. Self, do you have anything else you want to
No,
add
I
to
think
that?
you covered it well.
Okay. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, that item will pass. Moving on to submission 2025-045, authorizing the executive director to increase the engineering services fee for the industrial canal bulk grain facility with Myers and Associates. Mr. Self.
Yes, Mr. President, this one, as you pointed out, relates to the engineering of the grain terminal at the industrial canal. Originally, when this project was initiated, it was a $5 million project for which Meyer was designing. The first $5 million is going to be paid back to the port through an increased throughput fee that the South Louisiana Rail Facility will pay to the port. There's going to be an additional $7 million that's going to be invested by the South Louisiana Rail Facility that gives or adds to that $5 million to make the total project $12 million. Because of that, we need to increase the engineering fee for Meyer from 5 to 12 for a total of $12 million.
Just one point of clarification. Right now, they're only confident in additional $5 million, so this resolution I'm bringing for you today is bringing the total up to $10 million, not $12 million. There is the possibility they get additional $2, but we're going to bid the project based on $10 million with the additional options to add basically additional equipment that would bring the total to 12 if the funding is available at that time. So right now, bringing for you today is only for increase the design fee based on a $10 million construction project.
Thank you, Nick.
No problem.
Yes, Nick, was Mr. Self trying to give Myers and Associates an extra Christmas?
Trying to get them more money, that's it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Nick.
I so move to accept
I have
submission
a motion.
2025-045.
A
And
second.
a second. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, that item will pass. Moving on to briefing notes. The Executive Director Quarterly Expense Briefing.
Yes, Mr. President, really just my quarterly expenses for the month. The two larger items during those 4 items relates to a reception that we hosted here in town for the Ports Association of Louisiana, and the other larger item relates to my travel to the Breakbulk Conference in Houston for that conference.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. Moving on to September 2025 financial briefings. And Mr. Cameron, if you would you add FEMA GOSEP also to that?
Yes, sir. For the month of September 2025, we generated revenues of $3.9 million. That was unfavorable of $1.3 million to budget. We did see lower pet coke movement due to some customer-related factors. One customer had an extended turnaround period, and then one customer had some processing issues, all dealing with that pet coke. On the flip side of that, favorable expenses, about $400,000 due to the lower operating expenses with that lower pet coke. Cash flow was around $1.6 million, so even with the lower pet coke, we still had a healthy cash flow. On the balance sheet, same thing, you've been hearing all year. Fixed assets are up pretty significantly, around $72.4 million. Construction in progress down $20.1 million, primarily due to the completion of some of those projects Nick's been working on. On the FEMA GOSEP report,
Real quickly, I want to point out real quickly, we're approaching about $1 billion in assets in the history of the Corps, which is amazing. We currently have about $950 million in total assets, and with some of the projects that we have underway, we're going to get up to about $1 billion. I would say by the end of 2026.
And that's never been, the court has never exceeded that? Wow.
December 31, 2024, we were at $800 million in total assets, and we're up $115 million since December of 2024.
Great job.
Great job.
Very good. Yep. So on your FEMA GOSEP report, we have that we received $65,000. Not a big chunk, but over the past month, we've received a couple million more. And we actually finally received the last payment for Hurricane Delta. So you'll see that part on there one more time, and then that'll come off, and we'll only have funds for Hurricane Laura remaining. So good news there.
Any questions by the commissioners? All right, moving on to department reports, administration and finance. Mr. Cameron.
Yes, sir. Nick, John, and I met with insurance underwriters earlier this month to provide them with an update on our projects and further explain our efforts to minimize our risk for insurance claims, primarily hurricane-related. We haven't gotten any estimates yet, but during the meetings, most underwriters mentioned more volume and competition in the market, as well as minimal significant claim losses over the past few years, which in turn should end up being lower rates for us, which is great news. We have a few more things we need to provide to our broker, Gallagher, to pass along to those underwriters before we start seeing some numbers to provide to y'all. Any questions?
Any questions by the commissioners? Moving on to navigation. Mr. Channing.
Mr. President, Commissioners, good afternoon. I don't have anything to add to the report. I would like to take a minute, though, and thank you all for the opportunity you've given me working here. It has been a great ride. I will end my tenure here tomorrow. I'll retire, second time. People ask me what I may be doing. Hell, I might go look for a third pension. You never can tell. But I really enjoyed working for you, for Ricky, the past commissioners, the past executive directors, and especially the guys at this table. It's a tremendous bunch of people, and I'm just glad I had the opportunity to put my 2 cents in. So thank you.
Chad, I just want to add a little bit, and the other commissioners are more than welcome to say a few words, but I just wanted to say, Channing, when I first came on as a commissioner, you know, I think I met you in the hallway one day, and I said, where is, Ricky's office, sir? He said, well, what do you need? I can take care of it. And that's the kind of person, Channing, you've always been, man, and I just want you to know I do appreciate that.
Thank
And
you.
whatever we can do as a body or as an individual, by all means, you give us a call, okay, and let us know what we can do in any way.
Thank you. Same
Thank you
goes
for being
this
here
way.
with us.
Call me and I'll tell you what my hourly rates are.
You will be missed.
Thank you,
Yes.
Channing.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I'd
you.
like to say a word.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I worked with Channing for just about 10 years with Cameron LNG when I was at Cameron LNG in Semper and doing the dredging projects, and he always represented himself and the board with a lot of dignity, and so I appreciate those years. It was always a struggle to get money from the government, but it always happened. That's right. Thank you, Channing.
Thank you for those comments, Randy.
Very good.
All right, moving on to operations. Mr. Todd Henderson.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. One thing I want to note, I talked to Cheyenne about this the other day. I read during the board meetings is recent ships and future ships. The report that you get in the board book is from last month.
Thank you for telling me that.
So, yeah, so so if you're wondering why I'm saying all these tonnages and you're looking in your board book and you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. I'm not crazy.
No, I really hate to bring this up, but it never matches.
Yeah, and
Someone
so,
else said anything.
yeah, so that's the reason. I'm just kind of giving you a little look, a recent look back the last few weeks and then what's coming forward. With that said, at City Docks recently, we handled 100,000 tons of piling and cements. There was 10 barges and 2 vessels of aluminum hydrate and a 22,000-ton shipment of wood pulp. On the schedule right now, there's actually 141,000 tons of piling and cements on the schedule. There's going to be 5 more ships. There's 2 barges of aluminum hydrate, 2 shipments of sodium hydrosulfide, and 2 shipments of lumber totaling about 25,000 cubic meters. Recently at BT1, as Cameron noted, we didn't handle very much coke, but we did load 2 ships of about 47,000 tons, 2 shipments of calcine, about 22,000 tons, a rutile ship of 13,000 tons, and a barite ship totaling 37,000 tons. We're currently working on another barite ship that's totaling about 58,000 tons, and we have 1 raw coke ship on the schedule for 55,000 and a calcine ship of 7,000. At the industrial canal, there was 12 barges totaling 20,000 tons of aggregate, and the South Louisiana Rail Facility loaded their first ship out at the Turning Basin, which was about 12,000 tons of rough rice. And we had 3 barges of project cargo totaling about 3,000 cubic meters. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Any questions by the commissioner?
Thank you, Todd.
All right, we'll move on to cargo and trade. Mr. Therrence.
Yes, Mr. President. We had a great visit with Martin Marietta, Union Pacific, Port Rail, and Prairie Contractors. We've been working on this project for about a year now, bringing in aggregate unit trains to Industrial Park East. We're currently up to 5 trains so far this year. In a couple of months, it's supposed to ramp up to a ship a week. And according to them, once we do our rail upgrades in Industrial Park East, it could double or even triple our volume through the site. We're currently working with a company called Ag Source USA. They have the contract for the aragonite sand for the Ward 3 football stadium renovations. The original plan was to just truck it directly from Pennsylvania to the site. We reached out to them to do it by rail, to offload it here at City Docks and load the trucks here for them. It should decrease their transportation costs and give us a chance to handle some of the material for the project. We do have a draft of the centennial anniversary book. O'Carroll Group did a phenomenal job putting it together for us. We're currently at about 132 pages, going through the edits right now, hoping to finalize it in the next month or so for a first quarter release in 2026. Be happy to answer any questions.
Very good.
Thanks, Terrence. Any questions by the commissioners? Moving on to engineering maintenance. Mr. Nick.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. As discussed earlier, we have our BT1 Calcine project is ongoing and under construction, but we also have quite a few more projects at BT1 in design right now. So in the coming months, I'm going to be putting quite a few projects out to bid, mostly to support our new mobile harbor cranes that will be delivered next year. So I'll be putting those out for bid and then bringing to you hopefully in the next 3 or 4 months. Demolition at the Industrial Canal has begun on our big bulkhead project. That's an exciting one for us. That's where we see the future of the Port Lake Charles expanding. Major pile installation won't begin until about March or April of next year, though. And then the Industrial Park East that Terrence just mentioned, we have that SOQ received now. This is to hire the engineer to design the railroad for that expansion in that area. Of course, we're seeing a lot of rail volume traffic wanting to be coming to this area. And then here at City Docks, we have our 2 big warehouse projects that are going up. We have 4, 5, and 6, and the new berth 8. That west side of City Docks is really starting to change because the new blue walls are going up. The buildings are really taking shape. So things are changing out here, and it's a very exciting time. So be happy to answer any other questions.
Thank you, Nick.
Any other questions by the commission? Thank you, Nick, for that report. Moving on to our state lobbies. Is there anything, Mr. Self?
Nothing more than
None.
what's in their report.
Federal? None. And at this time, is there any other matters to come before the commission? If not, I will entertain a motion for us to go into executive session.
So moved.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. We will now proceed into executive session.